entrepreneurship is the ability to monetize your passion.
Alrighty. Let's see where we left off. Okay, so we already talked about the favorite place that you visited.
Yeah.
How you ended up in Parkland, and then how did you end up in Georgia?
So what brought us to Georgia was during the pandemic, we realized that a lot of people that were moving down just came with like certain attitudes and certain vibes. And, it just felt like a negative environment, something that we really, really enjoyed, which is our home. When we walked outside, like people weren't really trying to make eye contact with you to smile back. It was just a totally different vibe, something that we weren't really used to. So, you know what? Let's take a look at everything out there. And we immediately just checked out Atlanta. We heard that Buckhead is super dangerous and that wasn't going to work out anymore because Buckhead was actually really nice. And so I did some more research. I found Milton. Milton's like the top city in Georgia, the most affluent there is right now. And then it used to be part of Alpharetta. And so as soon as we came here, we checked it out. We saw Avalon. We saw downtown Alpharetta. I'm like, wow, like absolutely beautiful. We wanted 4 seasons, which now it's freaking cold. Like today, filming this, essentially 9 degrees outside, 9 degrees. We're not used to this. And so it definitely allows us to question things quite a bit, but they say it's an anomaly. They say it's not something that has happened before. It was reported that 35 years ago was the last time it was this cold during this time. So we're here, we're enjoying the moment. We're trying to enjoy the moment, but it's cold as shit.
Weird talents that you think that other people don't have, or is there anything interesting that you can do that other people don't?
Yeah, so there's times I used to tell Natasha, we would be like at dinner or something like that. I'm like, man, I could hear what everybody's talking about right now. I haven't tested it recently, but I used to be able to, and I probably still am able to pay attention to a certain degree, the conversation that I'm having, and also hear what everybody else is talking about too. And like, kind of like be able to tell you the topics that people are covering across the table. And so that's something that I could probably do.
But do you have anything like really weird that's a weird talent that's unusual or peculiar?
When I eat eggs and pancakes, my nipples get hard.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. All right. So what's the fashion trend or clothing that you would never wear?
That streetwear crap, I never really understood it. I thought it was a pretty big fad. I just don't see how it's possible for people to take something that looks so scrubby and spend thousands of dollars on it. It just, to me, it doesn't make any sense. Miami, South Florida was full of that. Like I would go to all these car shows and see people driving, $1 million plus cars wearing these $1,500 sweatpants, these $2,000-$3,000 sneakers that have paint all over it. Stuff like that I just don't, I understand it's art, I respect it, but it's essentially, wearing a garbage bag and charging 10 grand for it. That's really what it is. And that's okay. Go for it. But I'm not wearing it.
Why Sebastian Cruz? Why fashion clothing?
Why Sebastian Cruz? Like, why luxury fashion, stuff like that? Because I personally believe that suits are timeless. They've been around forever. They're never gonna go away. They're always gonna evolve. But I think, and especially with this pandemic, with COVID, a lot of people did the whole athleisure look, but social flex culture, people when they go out or people when they're at home taking pictures, they have to post something that showcases their status. Dressing like shit and spending thousands of dollars on sweatpants and things like that is not timeless. That's a fad. What's timeless is dressing in couture, let's just say, or in custom bespoke clothing and things like that. That showcases status. Nice fabrics showcase status. Brands are really forever. Luxury brands are forever. Fast fashion brands are fads. And that's just the reality. Like right now, it's Fashion Nova, but when the next Fashion Nova comes out, people forget about Fashion Nova. It's just like that. Louis Vuitton, Hermes, and brands like that have been around forever. When there's another brand that fits that segment, It doesn't make Hermes disappear. It's just gonna bring that other brand, elevate that other brand there, and Hermes, they complement each other. And so that's what I noticed about that space. And our vision was to do it digital, digital stylist for people all over the world. And that is still a big thing. Like there's not, even a Hermes, even a Louis Vuitton, brands like this, they come out with garments, but they don't really show you how to wear them. And they definitely don't show you how to wear them multiple ways. And that's something that is low hanging fruit. Any brand can do that. Like fast fashion brands are doing that, but luxury is not doing that. Luxury usually always markets things that are not even on the website. They do it for brand awareness and things like that. But that's not our generation. Our generation wants to see and wants to be inspired. It's like what I say, educate, inspire, and empower. So you educate people on the importance of dressing well, whatever it is that you do. Then you inspire them with the social media content, in this case, our looks, our digital looks, and then you empower them with your product. So the first two we always do for free. And that's where the biggest passion lies for us, being able to showcase how to wear our garments in multiple ways. And what we're going to be doing in 2023 is educating people on the composition of fabrics and why luxury fabrics are, different canvases are not supposed to weigh that much. Like people are used to these Chinese products that are heavy, and they perceive that if a garment is heavy, that means it's good. It's not. They think that if you see natural fibers on a fabric, that means it's ship fabric. That's not the case. I'm sorry. It's actually the opposite. It's just like a handmade product. It's not going to be exact in every single corner. It's handmade, So these are things that we want to touch base on, educate the end consumer, so they know that when they buy from us, you can't compare it to a Hugo Boss. You can't compare it to a Men's Warehouse. You're not going to be able to compare it to a Zara. So remember, everything that we do is truly handmade. Is truly bespoke if you submit your measurements. And the fabrics, we go balls to the wall with our fabrics. Like we literally pick every single composition that goes into it. So it's a special product. Our vision was to be able to get a customer to feel comfortable spending that level of capital without touching a garment. And I feel like that is, going back to it, that's my passion. My passion is being able to communicate with somebody and build trust with somebody online without doing it in person. And the fact that we did that, the fact that we have that proof of concept just excites me more and more. It makes it feel safe that we're in this sector that is classic, that is timeless, and that is bespoke.
So in 2022, this past year, what would you say has been one of the biggest obstacles with life and with work?
With life and with work? With life, for sure. Our last baby loss was absolutely insane. It just makes you question everything. It makes you question your purpose and things like that. It's getting over that and understanding that if you put a lot of things in your personal box, eventually not everything fits in that box, and that box won't close, and eventually things start popping out, and you have to address those things, and they mess with you. They mess with you, definitely. That was my midlife crisis. It's funny enough, at the beginning of the year, I told my wife that I wanted to get into meditation. I found it very interesting. I think that having control of your thoughts definitely puts you in more of a driver's seat of your life. You're not going to be able to control everything, but you can navigate through life a lot better if you can control your thoughts. And so recently, I have learned this and I am practicing this, but I'm not a master at it. Definitely a work in progress. From a business standpoint, challenging is it's always hard to scale. And thankfully, we've been able to grow. Like this year, we grew 20% over last year. And last year, we essentially quadrupled the business pre-pandemic, which was absolutely insane. A blessing as well. And so we thank you for that. But it's always a challenge because as you scale, you throw more things at it. There's things that work, there's things that don't work. But we never really wanted to raise capital from outside investors and things like that because we always wanted to have full control. It's always more difficult to grow a luxury brand with a high AOV without raising capital in a business like this, in a luxury brand like this. So we could have either done two things: focus on high growth quick, and I don't believe luxury is something you could grow quick, or do it slower, which for us has been pretty quick, but internally it feels slower. But in theory, it's been pretty quick. My thing is, I don't need to be staring at the computer every single day. And I've noticed this. And when I did, I was super anxious. I was like, oh my God, we didn't kill it today. Or, oh my God, we killed it today. Or, why do I have to do that? I don't have to do that. The good thing is that we have a solid team in place that makes sure that they're paying attention to all the metrics and they report back to us. So if I'm not mentally stable, then I cannot provide the maximum love and passion that the brand needs. And so I've learned how to blend both of them together, the personal and the business standpoint. So I have more stability to be able to provide a better vision for the brand in 2023.
What would you say is your greatest accomplishment?
Personally, has been to stay loyal to family, 100%, to do it differently, to break the chain, let's just say, a business and your personal life is almost exactly the same thing, like a startup, an entrepreneurial startup. It's the same thing. It really is. When other people say it's your baby, it's exactly the same way. If you don't pay attention to it and you're not loyal to it, it's going to let you down. It's going to leave you. It's going to crash, whatever the case may be. So personal relationship is exactly the same. You have to dedicate everything to it. You have to pay attention to every little detail. You have to be, most importantly, loyal to it. In business, if you don't put water to it, if you don't wake up every single morning and put the love to it, it's going to break up. So I think my biggest accomplishment has been learning the true definition of loyalty. Honestly, if I could describe myself to myself, I would say loyalty is the number one word, 100%. Everything that I do it with passion, but I do it focused on loyalty.
So what would you say is your favorite motto or saying or quote?
So my favorite motto, saying, or quote is one that I came up with, which is entrepreneurship is the ability to monetize your passion. I looked at for opportunities or like problems to turn them into opportunities kind of thing. And I always tried to understand why, how does that work? And then this word entrepreneurship, I didn't really know what it was, and then I'm like, holy shit, that is what it was. And then my school that I went to, Nova Southeastern University, that school started teaching entrepreneurship. And I'm like, how could anybody teach entrepreneurship? That's something that you either showcase from the beginning or good luck, because you can't just say that you love something and that you're passionate about something and fake it. You can't fake passion. You can't. And so that is my favorite motto for sure. Yeah, so the best advice that I could say to anybody, because I do get a tremendous amount of DMs. I'm like, how did you start this business? Or how do you start luxury? How do you start, how do you get started, right? So my best advice is to really look at yourself first, to make sure that you are ready to throw something at you, because you're going to be carrying this. Whatever it is that you start, you're going to be carrying it. You're going to be the foundation. So a lot of people don't know what they want to do, right? They don't know. But what everybody should be able to know is that you can work on yourself first. The most important thing is that you have a solid foundation, that your mindset is 100% on point. You need to look at your mindset and tell yourself, are you going to be patient enough? Are you not going to quit when this next thing that you do fails 10,000 times? If you don't feel like you're a solid foundation, don't put everything into the business, into whatever it is that you're trying to start, because that business eventually is going to test you and you're going to break and the business is going to break. And then second of all, analysis paralysis. Man, so many people don't know the definition of an MVP, minimal viable product. You start with that. Start with something. If you already have a product and you have a solid foundation, you have a product, get it out there. Get some feedback. Feedback is free. Get it out there. Get somebody eventually to buy your product or give it away for free. Listen to the feedback, implement it into the product, and start something. Start something. Don't wait until you come up with the perfect thing, because there's no such thing as perfection. Perfection is an opinion. It doesn't exist. My thing is get it out there, get some feedback. You're going to feel great in return, because once you get the response from somebody, that's going to give you instant gratification. So start a company, start a brand, start a service with a solid foundation, so you don't have to worry about it breaking up later on down the road. So hope you enjoy. So thank you so much for being a part of this. I appreciate you very much. I wish you and your family a happy new year, happy holidays, and please stay tuned to 2023, because there's a lot more where this came from.